Rural barriers and opportunities for peace.
I'm Martina Byrne from the group Women of Clonduff in Hilltown in Southdown.
Reflecting back, what do you think are the barriers for rural women engaging in peace building and what opportunities have presented themselves?
Well, the main barriers for women engaging in different activities is money and the cost of something, or the transport cost, or getting childcare. With rural women, you have a lot of events that are based in Belfast. And where we are based in the Mourne area, we have that added barrier of getting there in the first place, and the time that it would take to get there and come back with your other responsibilities of your job or childcare. There are very limited opportunities for peace building where we live because, as you know, Northern Ireland has got pockets of the different backgrounds of people, and where we are in Hilltown, the community we most want to have done work with is in Refryland. It's 3 miles to drive to Refryland from where we live, but it's segregated in the fact that it's in another council area. So the funding streams we have actually keep our two community groups separate. What happened last year through Nerwin and the Women's Spaces programme, we were actually invited to come to Agreement. It was an Agreement art project with an artist who did celebrating the 14 main people in the Agreement art project, and we were invited to the launch of that in University of Ulster. So the transport was subsidised or covered for us with the bus transport. We got to the launch in University of Ulster, which was exciting as itself. But then there were 6 projects that were going to be given the opportunity to host this agreement art in their own communities. So we snapped up the chance and said we'd be very interested, and we were one of the 6. In fact, we were the first group it came to. So we had this opportunity in Hilltown, and we thought, let's have this art and let's have an evening where we can bring people together in a community. But what we were most strong about was that we would actually host this in Refryland. So what happened was we worked with the different community groups in North Ireland with this carrot that we were given to actually host it in a neutral venue in North Ireland and bring all the community groups together and ourselves from Hilltown with this opportunity to come together for the first time. And out of that, which was June 2023, we have actually reaped the benefits of that with the different women's groups in North Ireland, particularly the WI, the Women's Institute, who we have never engaged with before. And what has happened is we have kept a connection together, and that has grown now that we're actually going to do a shared event May this year or next year with a literary festival. So out of one opportunity that the Women's Spaces programme has provided, we were able to actually make that a much more valuable long-term opportunity.
You work tirelessly at a local grassroots level in Hilltown. How do you continue to motivate and encourage rural women to engage in peace building?
The main foundation of our group is communication. We communicate, whether it be in the text and newspapers, our social media, WhatsApp groups, text messages. The beauty of our group, which we set out with, is that every woman's equal. You're not the ones that know information, the ones that don't. Everybody's equal. So everybody's communicated in the same way. What has motivated the different women is we, as a committee, are always listening to members, because they're the ones that are out about and have different ideas, and we're always listening to say, well, what do you think, or can we do this? So if somebody gives an opportunity to think of something, we would then try to roll it in Hilltown, and that's how we've been going the length of time we've been going. I would say probably the thing that motivates us as a group and members coming, women coming to the group and continue to promote the group to other women in rural areas, is that we deliver events of interest, events of worthiness, if it's tackling some problem they're having, and we're always doing something that is a social element that they can go out in their local area and have a night out or engage in something that without the women's group it wouldn't happen.
Looking forward, what would you like to see more of for rural women living in Northern Ireland?
I think the example of Women's Spaces has allowed to overcome barriers of participation. And I think if programmes like that were continued and developed on what has been learned from these couple of years with the Women's Spaces programme, but that everything is looked at with a rural focus. We have an urban-rural divide. A lot of things happen in the care centres of Derry and Belfast, Newry, But what we're looking to do is have it in our own communities. We're a village of 3,000 participants, but what has happened is, if you looked from a numbers point of view, if you had an event in Belfast and 10 or 11 people participated in it, against 10 or 11 participating in that same workshop delivered in Hilltown, there's what the success is. Those 10 or 11 women are of more value when you look on paper than a small group meeting in Belfast.